think we just about got everybody seated. What a great crowd. Welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a wonderful evening. My name's John Vita and I'm still the Alumni Association President. I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight. It's going to be a great night. You know, we're gonna honor some wonderful people and hear some great stories, I'm sure. So I'd just like to thank you all for being here and thank you for supporting your Alumni Association. We're here for you. We do this all for you all and for our students, and we're really happy to do it. So short of our pregame here, we're just going to do a couple of things before dinner and then have dinner. And then we'll come out and we will begin our presentations probably a little bit before 8 o'clock. So that's kind of the schedule that you can look forward to. But to get us started off, I'm going to ask you to stand and remain standing if you would. We'll have our invocation from Dennis Stollard, a Pledge of Allegiance, and then the choral group is going to come up and sing the national anthem in our alma mater. So. Dennis, all you.
Okay. John, thank you. It's an honor. You asked me to do this a couple of times. And
we're glad you do it.
It is an honor. I appreciate it. Guys, would you join me in prayer tonight? Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity tonight. We thank you for a wonderful gathering of people, the beautiful setting that we have here. And we ask first of all that you bless the food that we're about to receive and bless those who have prepared it. And Lord, it is an honor to be here, but it's a greater honor to be here and stand before you, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And Father, we ask you to be here in our presence tonight. We thank you for all the things you give us, for the excitement tonight, for laughter and fellowship and fun. And we just pray that this will be a great evening. Lord, we thank you, we love you, and it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and I'm going to ask the choral group to come up, and they were absolutely wonderful last year for those of you that remember. So we're going to welcome them, and it really is a great testament to all the good things that happen at Manatee. I think there's 25 of them tonight. I think there was like 60 last time, so we had to get them to fit into the space.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran bare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, of the brave. To thy Spirit's guiding, pledge we fidelity by thy name abiding.
Tommy, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen from the chorus, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it and wish you all the best in your studies and at school. Thank you so much. You can be seated and start with your salads, and they will be around with dinner service in just a few minutes. And we'll probably get started just a little bit before 8, 7:45, 7:50, something like that. So enjoy your dinner. If you could please find your seats, we'd appreciate it. All right. So we'll try to talk loud so everybody can hear, but if we can hold it down so that everybody can hear as well, that would be awesome. Again, thank you for being here. It's going to be a great night. We're getting ready to hear from some wonderful people. So really looking forward to that. Before I get started, though, I'd just like to thank everybody that has really helped us out tonight. Some of our sponsors, some of the folks that always help us out. Seafood Shack, just always accommodating and very good and great service. So thank you very much to the Seafood Shack. Publix provided our cake for us, so the cake that you get is from Publix, and we're gonna be serving that to you in here in just a little while. Don Ide, 1979 at the trophy case. Big supporter of our program, big supporter of Manatee, and I think pretty much every athletic league around our community. So thanks, Don. King's Wholesale Florist with the flowers, and Fred Barnes is the person that put together all of our arrangements, and we really appreciate him. We have a few sponsors that have helped us out tonight, so we really appreciate those folks. Matt Lewis from Congruity HR, I think I saw Matt here somewhere, so thank you so much. We appreciate the support. The support as a level 5 hurricane sponsor. And the Milestone Financial Group from Morgan Stanley, myself, Rich Morris, and Bob Latessa. So thank you very much for allowing us to do that. And then a Hurricane Category 4 sponsor, Carl Reynolds Law, and Bowen's here representing them here tonight. So thank you so much. Appreciate the support. We'd like to thank all of you that are here from Manatee, staff, teachers, faculty, administration. If you're here from Manatee and connected to the school, if you could just kind of stand up for us and give us a wave. We love you all. We appreciate our teachers and everybody that helps out the students and have been there for a long time. So thank you very much. They're great. We've got a couple of our inductees. We've got one person that's an outstanding alumni and a Hall of Honor inductee from the class of 1963, Coach Joe Canan. We've got 2 Hall of Honor inductees from the class of 2016. Trevor Kroneman I think Trevor's here tonight, correct? No? Who did? Okay. And then Phil Upton, and I know Phil's here. He's looking like Coach ZZ Top back there. I love it. Outstanding alumni inductees from the class of 1977. In 2022, recognized for academic achievement, Scott McCarr. I know Scott's here. Yep. Welcome. And from the class of 1974, for service and support to Manatee High School and the Alumni Association, she's also a member of our board, Miss Linda Boone. I'd like to welcome our mayor, Gene Brown, here tonight. Thank you for being here, Gene. And then some other people that help out. Billy D, who's bouncing around here somewhere. If you see a flash going off, Billy's behind it. He's always supportive at our events and taking pictures of us and making us all look good. So thanks so much, Billy. From the class of 1997, our videographer, Todd Soletto, is here, and he's a first responder, so thanks for everything that you do. We had some helpers tonight, Chris Farmer, Lisa Tung, Barbara Strauss. Thank you, ladies, so much for being here. And then I'd just like to introduce my board real quick, if you'd stand up for me. Rich Morris, Terry Rader, Tom Seifert, Lee Lewis, Bob Latessa, and myself. So thank you all very, very much. You will notice conspicuously missing today is Carolyn Keller. And Carolyn, gave us a book that we were to follow to the letter in order to pull off this event tonight. So when you see her, please tell her that it was terrible without her, that we messed everything up, the place looked like garbage, and that way she'll feel good about coming back. So we don't want to tell her it was a really good night, but we want her back. So she's actually in Hawaii. I understand today that she had a hula lesson. We're trying to get video of that, so if we get it before the end of the night, I'll be happy to share it. But really, it's been a labor of love, I think, for our board and everything that we get to do, on behalf of our high school. We have 27,000 living graduates in our database right now that we're communicating with and contacting with. Our email newsletter goes to 7,600 graduates, and we mail out a newsletter to 250 people that don't have the ability or don't have a computer or just don't want to use a computer. So that's a wonderful thing that we do. We keep track of our military, our first responders, our medical, athletic alumni, our deceased database. These are all databases that we have that we follow up with. This year we were able to, through your generosity, and a lot of people in here have contributed, but last year we gave out $104,500 in scholarships. So just absolutely phenomenal. I think when we started it was like $1,000 that we gave out. So just absolutely phenomenal, and we're really happy to have been able to do that. And one of the questions we get all the time is, when we do these great events and we're recognizing people and honoring people, how do we find them? And certainly if you're depending on, the six of us on the board to find people and identify people, you're probably going to be very disappointed. We really need you to help us out to identify these people, friends, family, people that you know throughout the years, and just really, help us to identify them so that we can get the best people up here and we can recognize those folks just like we're doing tonight with this outstanding group that we have with us. So before we get started, I'm going to ask two people to come up, just say a few words to us. Our principal at Manatee High School has been nothing but supportive to this organization. She is just absolutely wonderful. When we need her assistance, she gives it to us, and she involves us in things. We're included. We feel part of the school, and she just does a wonderful job, both on and off campus. Not only with her own students that she loves and she works with every day, but also the rest of us that Manatee is so near and dear to. So I'm going to ask our principal, Sharon Scarborough, to come up and say just a few words. Who put you in the back of the room? That's terrible. I'm going to have to talk to Carolyn about that one. Thank you.
Thank you. We're actually in the back of the room because I don't know if any of you remember, but high school starts really early. It starts at 7:30. So just in case we may go long, I do have to be at work at time in the morning. So
good.
That's
perfect.
Part of the plan.
I thought you did something bad and they put you in the back. Okay.
No. Thank you all for coming this evening. It really is an exciting time at Manatee High. This is homecoming week. So our students have been having a great time showing their school spirit, and I have the wonderful opportunity to welcome the class of 63 tomorrow, Coach Canan's class, for a tour of the campus, and this is really a great time for us to get to recognize all of you and see all of you this evening. I appreciate your continued support. It gives us a legacy that we can aspire to. And I'm so honored to be the principal and work with a wonderful staff that are here tonight, and please come to work tomorrow because there's a sub shortage. Anybody who's interested, let me know. But Manatee is a fabulous place to be, and we have a wonderful, wonderful staff who works really hard with the students to continue that legacy at Manatee High School, because we do want to honor the traditions that you have set, and we want to raise it even higher and have great expectations Thank you for the privilege of being here this evening. Thank you to my admin team who are all here tonight. A high five to Shane Hall back there, Travis Cochran and Denise Brigg. And I'm going to call up the best AD in Manatee County, is what I call him, the bad, Matt Bowling. And he's here tonight to help with the awards. But our theme this year at Manatee High has been We Are. Because we always say we are Manatee, and I tell the students you have to say that Manatee part really hard, but part of our challenge is we are what? We are so many things to our students, and it's a challenge to our staff. What are we each week, and what can we be, and even better? So your challenge tonight, when I say it, you're supposed to say Manatee really loud. Don't let me down. And that's what we are, but we're a lot of things, and we're tradition, we're excellence, we're the integrity, we're the strength, and we are
Manatee!
Well done. You guys can stay. Good job. Mr. Bowling.
When they do say that we have a great admin staff, I can tell you this: I've worked for a lot of principals in this district, and there's no one greater than this lady right here. She's amazing. But the reason we're here tonight, we have 7. They're now being inducted forever into the Manatee family, into our Hall of Honor. And tonight it's about you. And it's about your service to Manatee. It's about what you did for us then and what you're going to continue to do for us now. And we appreciate everything that you've done. We appreciate everything that you will continue to do for us. And we welcome you tonight into the Hall of Honor. Thank you guys for making the long trips. I know we've had a lot of people come from out of state, but it really is a special night for Manatee, a special night to continue the tradition of the Hall of Honor. And with that said, let's get this thing underway.
All right, good deal. Thank you, Matt. Thank you both very much. Appreciate it. Nice shoes, buddy. I like those. Those are tight. All right. Okay, so I think I've done everything that I'm supposed to do. Carolyn's not waving me down, telling me I forgot something. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that I picked it all up and I got it all. So we're ready to do our induction, and to do that, the person that really kind of brainstormed the Hall of Honor. When this started, it really wasn't an Alumni Association program, and we got together with the group that did that, and we decided that it really did belong in the Alumni Association. So we worked hard on that, and we did it, and we got this individual to join our board, and we said the only way we're going to do this is if you join it and help us out with it. So without any further ado, I'd like to thank and welcome Bo and Summer up to the stage.
So like John said, this this kind of came together, and I believe this is our 8th year putting on this night and this event, and it really is something special, something that we really enjoy being a part of. Manatee High School just really has a unique place in our community and in all of our lives that are a part of it. I got asked recently, I had the opportunity to teach, to coach youth league football, and we had all the kids wear their jerseys of their favorite team as part of our homecoming. And so you had Florida State jerseys and Tampa Bay Bucks jerseys and all these things, and I wore a Manatee one. And they said, "Well, who's your favorite team?" I said, "It's Manatee. That's it. That's it for me." And it truly is. And my wife always jokes. She said, "I knew football would be part of our lives. I met you. You were playing college football." She goes, "I'm not sure I knew how much it was going to be a part of it." And really, it's the families, it's the kids, it's the community that Manatee High School provided for me and for my family growing up, and my grandfather, playing football at Manatee High School and graduated in 1948, 94 years old, and he was at the last JV home football game, with one of his classmates, and so that it's a special place, and it's a special night. So I have the honor of kind of doing an introduction to our honorees. After I give this introduction, we've got somebody, either that member or somebody on their behalf, that's going to come up and speak for a few minutes and accept the award. I always say this every year. Every single one of these individuals could have a night that just honors them and what they've done and what they've accomplished. They really are that remarkable. And the people that nominated them absolutely love them, and the people that are here absolutely love them, and they're excited to be here to support them and the teams that we have. So with that being said, if I do not highlight the right thing, or if I don't get the right date, remember, Carolyn wrote all of these. I'm just a pretty face that's reading them. Now, if you do like it, and then you can by all means come up and thank me for doing a great job. But we'll try to get it right. And again, all of these individuals, all of these teams are very special to us in our community at Manatee High School. With that being said, we're going to start off with our only team that's getting inducted this year, the 1985 Boys State Championship Tennis Team. So with 3 state champions on the team, they took on the best and dominated the state. It was Coach Chip McCarthy's first year as the Manatee High School tennis coach, and he made a huge difference in getting the team looking and thinking like champions. They practiced for 2 hours, ran for 2.5 miles, rested, and then did stretching exercises, followed by jogging in place, double knee jumps, more jogging, push-ups, jogging again, more double knee jumps, and jogging. The final portion of the practice lasted about an hour, and it was brutal, but the fun had just begun. After another rest, they would hit the cross courts for 10 minutes, then volley for the net for another 10 minutes, and then down the line for an additional 10. Most being 2-on-1 drills with the 4th player chasing balls and feeding them back into the basket. After a few minutes, the kids would be huffing and puffing. Their rackets felt like 30-pound weights, but they never quit. Not one of them. Before the season started, they decided on 2 goals: winning the district and winning a state championship. As their practice advanced, team members ran for at least 35 miles each week, and the results spoke for themselves. In the state championship game, their number 2 doubles team totaled 16 points in the 2-day competition and edged out Miami Palmetto, which finished with 15. Teammates Chris Egan was playing with a pulled stomach muscle and leg cramps with Chris Weatherby as the Manatee doubles players. They knew they had to win the match or to end up in a tie. Thanks to their gutted performance, their state championship became a reality. The team was nominated by Steve Slocum, class of 1984. Here joining us tonight we have head coach Chip McCarthy, Steve Bobio, Sam Pointer, Chris Egan, Trevor Croneman, Mike Landry, Steve Laberman, Jay Lipker, Darby Meadowcroft, Doug Morrison, Chris Weatherby, and Jeff Stab. And did I get it wrong? I'm sorry.
Westbury and Staub.
Oh, okay, sorry. Again, this is Carolyn. She's in Hawaii. I'll give her some. And here speaking and accepting on behalf of the 1985 Boys State Champion team is Coach Chip McCarthy.
I wonder if that's Bone. Is that going to reach?
Do you need a microphone?
Give us 1 second.
Mr. Microphone.
What do you want to do? Huh?
Got your balls.
This is what happens when Carolyn's not here. Here, I'll just hold it up. That's all we got, I think. Huh? Good.
All right. We got an extension. Do we have the MC department?
No, I guess you're the only one. Yeah, we're good. Thank you.
She got it.
Okay, thanks. All right. I was just reviewing how to give a speech, and one of them is you don't start a speech with, is that plugged in? Hi. But anyway, I'm glad we got the whole breakdown by Steve, because that saves us time, and I got to get out of here fairly soon. But anyway, one of the things that I did do was I followed this team actually for several years before I decided to help. And what I knew was that they had a lot of talent. I forgot who the dean was who was coaching before, and he did a great job. But the problem was, I needed to push them a bit. So my first meeting with them was, I started out with, I have never been so disappointed in a group of kids in my whole life. Then it went to, we are going to train harder than anybody, not only in Florida, but the United States. We are going to bring a college program right to Bradenton, and you guys are going to follow it. And if you don't like it, leave. Because I want everybody to work as hard as they can. The reason for that was, in tennis, it's very much an individual sport. And it's all about me. Not me, but the individuals. And it's really hard mentally to get excited about playing high school tennis because most of these guys are focused on state rankings, national rankings, college, and all this other stuff. So we had to flip the script on them a little bit. So I said, we're going to go out and train. So unfortunately, Staub and Landry, they created a problem right there. So as we went out to the courts to train, Staub and Landry just ran around the lake. And when they said, "Coach, is that enough?" I said, "Yes, now go the other direction." And then when they got done with that, they practiced wrestling each other for an hour.
True story.
And at that point, we were done with practice. But our practices consisted of, just really quickly, like Steve said, we did a lot of movement stuff, a lot of plyos, all that kind of stuff, and then we really hit a lot of tennis balls. We focused on the volley and the overhead because most matches are won in doubles. Not the individual matches, but the overall team matches. Coming from college where tennis was, most of the matches, if not all of them, unless you just got blown out, that was done in doubles. So, and then the other thing is, having played numerous sports at Manatee, which I love, by the way, besides tennis, I played football, basketball, ran track, played baseball, anything I could do to stay out of the house. So, but I wanted these guys to be tough. So what we decided was we're going to play doubles and we were going to try to hurt the other team. True. I don't know if you've been hit by a forehand by Trevor Croteman, but I can promise you at 120 miles an hour, it's going to hurt. And so we played that style of doubles. We wanted to dominate and intimidate the other teams. So, we're going to cut it short here now. The team lost one match. Beat Sarasota, the tough teams in our district, Riverview. We beat St. Stephen's 5-4. Last match on the court in doubles, by the way, which we dominated. We won in the last point on a tiebreaker. That's dominating. St. Stephen's was very good back then. They had Wheaton, Blackman, these are all pros, on and on and on. Then the team that we lost to was Bradenton Prep with all those voluntary guys. And listen to this. This was their lineup. They had, what was Boynton's first name? Anybody remember?
Right.
Yeah. He was number one in Texas, number one in the country. Their number 2 player, Garner, was number 2 in the country. Their number 3 was some schlep called Andre Agassi. That was their number 3 player. Who was the 4 player, Darby? No, on Braden Prep, that's St. Steve. No, Conard was 5.
Anyway.
Hey, good thing you had Westbury and Stop.
Well, I'll tell you what, those boys did a great job, by the way. They surprised a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
And at the state tournament, we won the matches we thought we would win. Probably the biggest, there were 2 matches that were the biggest. And I got to tell you, every player here, whether they started or not, made a huge impact because we had to have that kind of competition from one to all the way the last guy, because it was important that we built up a solid team because of injuries, and we had quite a few. But Darby Meadowcroft, his first match against Miami Palmetto, who number 2, the kid was really, really good, very highly ranked. And Darby came back, 3rd set tiebreaker, last point, a long point. Ball's going back and forth, back and forth. Finally, Darby choked a little bit and hit a short ball. And that guy came coming in really hard, and Darby smoked it, down the line shot with his forehand. It was very nice. The other big match was Westbury and Egan playing number 2 doubles, which we knew it would. And one of the other reasons why we trained as hard as we do, in these long tournaments in tennis, you get sometimes on the court, and you just can't help it, it's happened to everybody that's played the sport, you go into a brain fog. And if you're in great shape, it doesn't happen as often. But I was watching number 1 doubles, who you guys did a great job there as well. Our boys, Westbury and Egan, were down a set and a break point. They didn't know it, but we had to win that match to win state. All the other matches we were off the court. And they're kind of just in La La Land talking to each other about, maybe going to the beach when they get back home or whatever. And I was very calm through the whole tournament until that point. And I screamed at them. You're not allowed to coach. So I didn't coach. I just screamed at them, and I told them, get your act, in so many words, get your act together. This match wins the state championship, and if you lose, don't come off that court. You're running home from Gainesville. So these guys were unbelievably great to work with. And they actually all have become better people as adults.
Have an immediate impact at Manatee High School as a day 1 starter on varsity his freshman year. Ken followed up his successful freshman campaign to be a 4-year starter and being voted team captain and MVP his senior year. For his success at Manatee High School, he was recruited to play in college by a number of schools before deciding on North Carolina Wesleyan. His success continued in college as he started every game in college and was voted captain his junior and senior year. In 1988, Ken led NCWC with 22 points and ended the year with 7 goals and 8 assists. He had 17 goals and 21 assists for his college career, earning him the 5th spot all-time on the NCWC scoring list. Ken was the fourth soccer player in Wesleyan history to earn All-American honors. He was also All-South and All-Conference and was inducted into the North Carolina Wesleyan Athletic Hall of Fame in 2014. Ken was nominated by Danny Carter, Manatee High School class of 1985. He lives in Bradenton and owns RC Roll Grinding, Inc. And joining us this evening are his wife and business partner, Bonnie, his son Lane, brother Cole, and his wife Michelle, and brother Matthew, and his wife Chrissy, along with many, many supporters. Please join us in welcoming Mr. Ken Bowers.
Danny Bowers, Anna Marie Elementary School, King Middle School, Manatee High School. I live across the bridge on the beach. That's where I grew up, and I still reside there. Big shout out to Danny around here somewhere. Danny Cortez around here. Danny, thanks for the plug. Thank you. Carolyn Keller, she's out of town, but all her hard work for getting me up here. I don't know why I'm up here, but and that was a great speech by Mr. McCarthy, but it was all about having a heart. All about having a heart and playing strong. And I don't have much to say, but I'm stoked that my family and friends are here in Manatee High School. Cane Pride, I had the Cooley Cup in my pocket, and you guys were saying that Cane Pride never dies, but back in the day it was like, hold on, I got it. Cane
Pride rides inside.
Cane Pride rides inside. And I dated a cheerleader in high school, so that was another issue. I couldn't forget that, but I did. But anyway, thank you very much for the honor. I appreciate it. And family and friends, everybody here this evening, thank you. Thank you very much.
And our next inductee for the 2023 class of Manatee High School Athletic Hall of Honor, Mr. Danny Gilmore, class of 1985. Danny was a two-time state qualifier and won a 4A state championship title in wrestling in 1985 in the 135-pound weight class. On his way to the state championship, he was also district champ and region champ. Danny's record in 1985 was an impressive 31-1, winning the state title despite wrestling with a sprained elbow sustained in semifinal action earlier in the day. Wrestling was a family sport in the Gilmore family, with both Danny and his brother Ernie being wrestlers. However, it was their father, the Reverend Ernest Gilmore, that provided as much entertainment from the stands as he cheered for his boys, going through his own version of the moves they executed on the mats below. Danny's dedication to the Manatee High School wrestling team did not end when he graduated in 1985. After he completed college and established a successful career, he became a dedicated financial supporter of the Manatee wrestling teams and many other athletic programs at Manatee. He was always there to financially support the needy wrestlers so they could always attend the camp and travel with the team. Danny is a Florida State University graduate with an accredited asset management specialist designation from the College of Financial Planning in Denver, Colorado. He is the branch owner and operator of a Raymond James office here in Bradenton. Danny was nominated by his high school wrestling teammate and current Manatee High head wrestling coach, Goog Guglielmini, class of 1985. Danny is joined tonight by his wife Mara, his son Sammy, daughter Lauren, stepson Alex, brother Ernie, sister Diane, sister Debbie, and several nieces and nephews, and many other family members, and a bunch of rowdy Manatee High School wrestlers. Please join us in welcoming Mr. Danny Gilmore. So Danny's having a little hard time speaking right now, so he's also asked his daughter Lauren to help out.
Hey everyone, for those of you who don't know me, I am Lauren Gilmore, Dan Gilmore's daughter. Like was mentioned, he unfortunately has a medical issue that's kind of affecting his speech right now. So he asked me to help him out tonight, and I just feel so honored. Manatee High School means the world to him. I followed him in his footsteps and went there, so I just feel really lucky to be here and help him out tonight. So, in the words of Dan Gilmore, this is the speech he planned out. When I enrolled in Manatee in the early 1980s, it was a golden age for athletics here. The football team won state titles in '83 and '85 and may have had their best team in '84. We also are celebrating the tennis team, a cross-country coach, a soccer star, and a legendary principal from the same era. And the wrestling team produced the most accomplished wrestler in program history. His record still stands today. On my first few days on campus, head wrestling coach Phil Upton grabbed me out of class and told me that my schedule was changing. He said there was a brand new program this year and it's called Varsity Sports. He also told me I would be the only freshman on campus in that program and that I would be the varsity wrestler at 100 pounds, so I better get ready. He placed an expectation on me as this little 100-pound, 14-year-old kid, and I could not be more grateful. I immediately learned about teamwork and accountability. The training conditions in the wrestling room and the weight room beneath the bleachers were medieval, to say the least. It was alpha male central with AC/DC and Judas Priest at full volume. And while wrestlers do have to watch their weight, I can assure you that no one in that training room was afraid of glue-in. I could have not asked for a better high school coach in Phil Upton. He has already been inducted into the MHS Athletic Hall of Honor, and that recognition is richly deserved. I arrived at Manatee kind of ready to go from my childhood coach, Ron Jones. We practiced in his barn out in Onico. Yes, it was a barn. There was no way to have known it then, but Ron would go on to become an iconic figure in Florida wrestling. He has been inducted into the Florida chapter of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. Ron passed away a few years ago, but we remained close long after my wrestling days ended. I was so blessed to have a supportive family behind my efforts. I'm the youngest of 4, and my sisters and brother have always looked out for me and have always encouraged and supported me. They are all here tonight to celebrate this honor with me. My mom and dad loved Manatee High School, and it has been a huge part of my family's life. I can't thank them enough for the support they gave me to pursue my dreams on the wrestling mat. My dad was the dad that never missed a match or tournament. He hardly missed a practice. Being the chaplain of the wrestling team, he was ever present at all events and loved by all the wrestlers. He had endless lists of motivational sayings and countless words of wisdom. Being a man of God, he of course gave me scripture, and sometimes he just gave me funny stuff. But the next story is pretty good, so I think my dad should do his best to try and tell it.
So I was wrestling this kid in some meaningless tournament somewhere, and this kid was walking around all day with his shirt off. He had this mohawk haircut, and just his arrogance was on full display. Well, by the time it came time for us to wrestle, I was a seething inferno inside. I told my dad, I said, I would rather just die, like right now, than lose this match. That's how much I don't want to lose to this kid. What did my father, the Reverend, say? Well, for one, he's glaring, just burning a hole in this kid. And he said, son, I feel exactly the same way. Thank you, Reverend Gilmore. And hey, Dad, you may want to leave that out of tomorrow's sermon. I don't know that I've seen anything like that in the Bible. I'm going to let Lauren pick this up again for a second.
I was fortunate enough to have outstanding teammates, one of them being Brian Skelton. He won 3 state titles and is the most decorated and accomplished wrestler in MHS history. Brian taught me toughness, perseverance, and he even broke my nose 3 times. Most importantly, he taught me the mindset and heart of a champion. Lastly, and certainly not least, is Andrew Anthony Guglielmini Jr., which everyone knows as the Goog. And if you don't know him, you've probably heard him tonight. He's pretty loud, so. I was only the 3rd different person to become a state champion at Manatee in 1985. The Goog has coached 11 different individuals to win a state wrestling title. I'm being inducted tonight as a student athlete and a contributor. The Goog has made the contributing part easy. How can I not give back to a program that has given me so much?
I just wanted to say that this period of my life just really shaped me. The time with my dad, super special. I lost him not long after this. My dad talked a lot about not living with regret. I heard it day in and day out, and he said the pain of discipline, the pain of hard work is nothing compared to the pain of regret. That's a pretty powerful statement to hear as a 14-year-old kid, and I think about it all the time. I feel so blessed to be a part of Manatee and the sports programs we had back then. I was the sports editor of the Maca High, so I got to spend time and know people like Joe Canan and Leslie Choate, interviewing and spending time with guys that were going to be Division I athletes. All that stuff had a major, major impact on me. You don't need medals or championships in the sport of wrestling. You're all alone on the mat. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and most importantly, no one to blame. You learn who you are very quickly. It was a great thrill of my life to have a Navy SEAL tell me that elite high school wrestlers have the highest rate of success in their BUDS training program. So there has to be something to this sport. To all my friends and family here tonight, I know the barbell is extra large. That's how y'all roll. But please know how much it means for me to have you guys here tonight. To my kids, learn perseverance no matter what the circumstance. Have integrity, show character, and follow Christ. Everything else will take care of itself. To my wife, who keeps everything together and just being by my side the last few months has meant everything. I couldn't date Mara in high school, mostly because she was like 6 years old. To the committee, John, Bowen, Bobby, Rich, all you guys, thank you for what you do. I love Manatee High School and I'm so proud to be a part of its history.
Our next 2023 Manatee High School Athletic Hall of Honor inductee is Mr. Tom Orhowski, class of 1960. Tom started running independently during high school and college. He ran competitively after college in local road races, but in 1977, unfortunately, he was hit by a car while finishing a training run. He suffered severe compound fractures in his ankle, and thankfully the surgeon could put him back together. But his fast running days were over. That's when he started using the email name, am I saying this right? Slow Jog R2?
Slow Jogger.
Slow Jogger, there you go. Which he still uses today. Tom became the Manatee cross-country boys coach in 1976 and the girls coach in 1977, and then the long-distance track coach in 1988. From 1990 to 2004, the Manatee cross-country and track distance runners absolutely dominated our local running community. Manatee teams consistently placed in individual meets and numerous achievements at the district, region, and state levels, both by male and female runners and teams. In 1995, Matt Zisk and Amy Zentera were the first 4A male and female mile state champions from the same school in the same year in Florida high school track history. In Tom's last year before retirement in 2003 and 2004, the girls cross-country team won the county, district, and region, placing 7th at the state meet. And Coach Orhowski was awarded the Tri-County Coach of the Year. In addition to Tom's Manatee coaching success, he has been the executive race director of the Bradenton Runners Club since 1997. Was awarded the Rod Steele Award for being the National Volunteer of the Year in 2008 by the Road Runners Club of America, and was a course referee at the 2019 USA Track and Field Olympic Marathon Trials in Atlanta. He has served as a staff coach at the University of North Carolina Asheville Smoky Mountain Running Camp, and is currently a staff coach at the Atlanta Track Club and Wingfoot Running Camp at the University of Alabama, Birmingham. Tom was the 2021 Bart Star Award as Outstanding Track and Field Official for the Central Florida Track Officials Association, and has been a Florida High School Athletic Association Track and Field Official since 2006. Ray Ann Darling Reed nominated Coach Orhowski, and joining him tonight are his fiancée, Lee Lewis, sons Chad and Keith, and his daughter-in-law Stephanie, along with a large group of supporters. And please join us in welcoming Coach Tom Orhowski.
Thank you.
Wow. We need about 1,000 of these so I can pass them out to every runner I had, because they all are the reason why I'm here tonight. When I first started coaching, when I first got out of college at 65, my experience was in boys track, mostly in the sprints. We had no girls track or cross country where I was. And I came to Manatee High School in 1969, a place I said I'd never come back again after I graduated. I'd go somewhere else. I came back for 35 years. And of course, my first 5 years, I didn't do that because I put my family first. My kids were young, my wife was home with them, and I said, I'll work 7 days a week. And that's what I did. In 1976, Mr. Choate came up and said, Coach, I hadn't heard that in a while, we need a cross-country coach because Mr. Green is retiring. We need to move somebody else, and you've got a track background. I said, yeah, Mr. Choate, that's true, but I never coached cross-country in my life, and in my track, I had one track guy going to the Air Force Academy, and I knew he was smart, and he's the only one I had, and I said, all right, I got 2 words for you. 1, I want you to run long, down to Tampa Bay and back to the school, and 2, don't get hit by a car. And that was it. And he was great, and I learned more from him than he learned from me. So I took the job of coaching cross country. I got the green light at home. She said, okay, the kids are in school now. You can go back to what you were doing before. And I took the job of coaching cross country, which continued to be my passion until today. I love distance runners. As a track and field official, it's very nice to start the whole running program with the 4x8 relay, because that's the one I really loved the most. We began boys cross country, and I tried as best I can because I had a couple of good runners, Mickey Bordas and Bobby Dawes. Remember he made Bobby, he eventually became a school board chairman. That was really good, and I enjoyed that, working under him instead of him under me. And then we began girls cross country in 1977. So I had a lot of learning to do. And as Mr. Choate said, go read some books. You're smart, you can do it. So I read everything I could do. I went to every clinic I could get, and I talked to every coach who was surprisingly willing to share their experiences with us, because you got to realize, no matter how much coaching you do, when those kids put those shoes on, they lace them up and that gun goes off, there is no halftime, there is no split times, and you just go. And you don't have any substitutes, you just go, and you run, and then when it's all over, you try to find a breath. And so they shared a lot with me, and I learned a lot from my fellow coaches as well. And we still share a lot of experiences today. But we did a good job in the 70s and in the 80s. We were dominant in certain areas, but we just couldn't make it to state. We made it to district, we made it to region, we couldn't make it to state. Of course, by this time, Coach Rick Brown had got me into the track program, and I was enjoying that very much. In 1990, the father of my boys track coach, captain, Ed Lepacki, came up and said, Tom, you're doing a great job with the boys and girls as you've got so far. But my daughter Liz is coming into town, and she's going to be, you're a freshman this year for you. I think she's a potential state champion. And I think maybe you need to tweak your program just a little bit, because she can run with your boys. You've heard that before? Well, it turned out she could. When I saw Liz running, I knew we had something special. Because of that, I found out from Ed about a good place to go. It was called the Smoky Mountain Running Camp, run by Coach Roy Benson, who was one of the legendary Florida coaches, and he also was the coach of our marathon runners in the Olympics. Jack Batchelor, Frank Shorter, and Jeff, and the rest of the big crew. I figured that guy is going to help me a lot. So I went to the Smoky Mountain Running Camp for 3 years in a Sutter clinic. I learned everything I could, and I passed them on to my kids. And they tweaked the program. I learned things that I had not learned before in any of the other books. Benson was a remarkable coach. And I was hopefully a remarkable student to pass on to our kids what I learned. And in 1993, I guess he thought I was learning enough because he asked me to join the staff. And I've been with Coach Benson ever since. It's been about 35 years now, and I've enjoyed working that running camp, and we moved over to another one in Huntsville, and we're still there. We're starting another program going. So I became a better coach. My kids became better, smarter, faster runners, and let me tell you, it was a lot of fun in the 1990s. He was right. Liz was a potential state champion. In cross country in her first year, she ran 5th as a freshman. This was after being hit by a motorcycle during a year, and she wasn't even able to do anything but eat or drink liquids for about 5 weeks. But she still ran 5th in cross country, and our boys for the first time made it to state in 1990. That was great too. So I really enjoyed that. Liz set the standards. She was a 4-time district champion, a 3-time regional champion, state runner-up in cross country, and she was my first state 1,600-meter runner. You know, some coaches are very knowledgeable, they're very dedicated, and they coach all their life, and they never have a state champion. I was so fortunate to have 4 of them, and 3 in a row in the 90s, dominating the whole area. Liz Lepecki was our first, and then followed that, Renee McManus was another one, and then Amy Zentera was another one, and then Matt Sisk. We found how he broke the road with Matt Sisk. Was a great kid. A kid that in his junior year he had Osgood-Schlatter's disease, tumble on the knees, and he didn't want to run anymore. He was so painful about that. And I just said, you're going to outgrow out of it. We sent him to an orthopedic surgeon. You're going to do great. And he says, okay, I'll give it a try next year. He came back as undefeated state champion, undefeated for the entire year, and brought in accolades to me. And I think he's a civil engineer right now in Atlanta. It was a pleasure. Renee and placed in the state meet in 1995. Renee placed 3rd. We sent 3 kids to state in 95. 2 of them in the 1,600 and 132. Renee was 3rd in the 32, and Matt and Amy were won the state championship in 16. The first time that a boy and girl from the same school in the same race were state champions. It had never been done before. It was remarkable. So throughout the 90s, the kids were great. We either sent individuals or teams or both teams to the state meet. I'm going to tell you, those were great years for Manatee High distance running, and it was so appreciative that I was able to be their coach. In 2003, it was my last year before my 35-year retirement from Manatee High. And Mr. Archer said, no, we don't want you to go. We want you to come back next year. And I said, Mr. Archer, they don't allow that. You can't coach the next year. You can be a volunteer, but that's about it. So I wanted to leave our program in good hands. We had a good young man to take over the boys team. And I was very fortunate to meet a young lady who came down from Massachusetts who had run college by the name of Rayanne Darling Reed. Her and her husband came down, and I knew of her because her parents lived here, and they were in the running club for the Bay Runners Club, and I was fortunate to meet her. And she had 1 year of coaching under her experience, and I thought she would be great to be in our program. And so she agreed to be our assistant coach and get her feet wet in Manatee County. Do the things that I could no longer do. I could not run with my kids. I could not keep them together. And for the long distance, just didn't have the ability anymore. And I know we needed a pack finish in 93 because we didn't have that great team speed that we had before. I mean, that individual speed like Liz or Amy, but we had great team speed. And I thought, we just need that one ingredient, and that ingredient could be Coach Reed. She could bring them along, move them along, improvise, and keep it going. And with our first core coming back, I thought we had a chance to get to state. That top 4 girls that I had coming back went to Smoky Mountain Running Camp. And remember, the year before, we had missed going to district by 1 point. I mean, missed out of district. We had to go home. Everybody else ran and we went home because we missed it by 1 point. One of our runners had a little injury before. We weren't that strong in the full area, and we went home. And I said, okay, let's learn it. Let's come back. So that time, the top 4 went to state. And while we were up there at the distance running camp in Smoky Mountain in Asheville, one of our girls, Jennifer Swan, you may see her on television from time to time. She's a sportscaster and a reporter. She says, Coach, what are you going to do for us if we make it to state this year? And I thought, make it to state?
We didn't even get out of district last year, and you're talking about state already, this is summer. I'll tell you what, I know distance runners love to eat after they finish running because they can't do that beforehand or they'll, eat it twice. So I said, okay, if we make it to state, I will take you to the finest restaurant in the Tampa Bay area on my dime. Finest restaurant. Jennifer turned around and says, do you mean Burns? Can we go to Burns? I thought, oh my God. I said, okay, this is it. If you make it to state, we're going to Burns. You take it to state, I'll take you to Burns. And that was the cheer all year long. We're going to Burns. We're going to Burns. Coach Benson said, who is Burns? What coach was he? And I said, hey, I'm saving up for it. So in any event, the season started, and Coach Reed and I were looking together, and we said, we may have something going here. And she was bringing them along real well and increasing their distance way beyond what they thought they could do. Even more than I thought I would do. And the first meet we had at Venice, we were running against 25 teams. That's 7 kids a runner, 25 teams, over 160 runners. And our girls placed 3rd, 7th, 10th, 15th, and 18th. And I thought, oh my God, I better start saving my dimes because this is looking good. We won the meet going away, 25 points ahead of everybody. And I'll tell you what, it was a great season. We won most of our meets with the girls team. The boys did well, but they weren't as strong as the girls. We won almost all of our meets. We won district, we won region, and we placed 7th in state. And the only reason we would play 7th and not a little bit higher is because one of our kids had an asthmatic attack on the course and she dropped out a couple of places and we lost some points on that. But we had a great team. They did take it to state. And I took them to Burns. It was the most expensive dinner I ever went to and paid for, but it was well worth it. We went to Burns. So I hope I passed on to some of our kids what they have learned during the course of the year. Our runners worked very well. They worked very hard. We had great success, and I think that I saw glimpses of their work with home and family and team and community that I hope they carried on in their adult life. Especially 3 or 4 of those kids that ran for me that got their teaching degree and are still teaching in Manatee County. As a matter of fact, 2 of them were teaching at Manatee High School and one of them is still there. So tell Coach Amanda Ganstad that Coach Orhowski said hello. I thank you very much. I thank our runners who bought into our program and ran so hard. I thank our parents who worked very hard and were by spectators on the course that would let me know if the kids are running through the community and not getting hit and making a deal of it, not stopping off at McDonald's. And our school community who supported the cross-country program. It is an honor and a privilege to be indicted in the Manatee High School Athletic Hall of Honors on behalf of all those kids that bought into our program, worked so hard, ran so well at cross-country track, and brought credit to our Manatee High School distance program. Thank you very much for having me out. Appreciate it.
Rick Pearson, class of 1976. Rick was the captain of the golf team in 1975 and 1976, and he was by far its best player, averaging par in the 9-hole events throughout the many challenging courses. He received MVP and Most Outstanding Athlete Award for his consistent performance and leadership, and was selected as an all-area first team and all-Sun Coast team. Beyond high school, he was a statewide champion twice in the Florida Junior Amateur Tournament, twice the best Florida Amateur Champion, and the individual champion in the 1980 SEC Golf Tournament with the University of Florida, making him the SEC Player of the Year and a second-team All-American. Rick competed with some of the best in the world who live right here in Florida and in the Bradenton, Sarasota area with the likes of PGA champion Paul Azinger, who played at rival Sarasota High School. Rick received a BA in economics from the University of Florida and then launched a professional career on the PGA and Nike tours, where he won 3 championships. Rick was chosen by the players of the Hogan Nike Nationwide Korn Ferry Tour to serve 6 years as the Player Advisory Council, which he met with PGA Tour Commissioner quarterly to help lead and shape the direction of the tour. He would later go on to work for the PGA Tour at PGA Tour Entertainment for 15 years, managing the entire technical department in the film and media library. He currently works for CCS Presentations as a project manager, and he has been married for 40 years to Miss April Pearson, and they have 2 grown children. Rick was nominated by Judge Scott Maker, class of 1977, our 2022 Outstanding Alumni, who included in his nomination, he quotes, "Rick and I played together on the Manatee golf team for 2 years. He was a consummate leader, colleague, and competitor. He worked harder than anyone else. He was genuinely humble, and he always had a grin and something funny to say. He epitomizes the integrity of the ancient game of golf." Joining Rick this evening are his wife April, his brother Mike, and his sister-in-law Reba. Please join us in welcoming Rick Pearson.
Good evening. Hope everyone is doing well. About 18 months ago, I received a phone call and looked down at my phone, and it said a name that I had not recognized since 1976.
The mic closer.
So sorry.
Up to your ear.
So sorry. Scott Makar played on the golf team with me, and after catching up and learning a little bit about how our lives had progressed, Scott said something about this Hall of Honor thing, and I'm like, wow, you're talking to the wrong guy. But as we spoke further, Scott has put all this together for me. I really am grateful to him for the evening. Really great friend, great guy. Looking forward to catching back up with him, getting back out on the golf course a little bit together. So thank you, Scott. I appreciate you very much. When Carolyn Keller called and said that I had been given this award, she told me that I had 5 minutes, and the ones that know me here in this group know that that will not be a problem. I will be leaving soon. I got another couple people to thank. My wife April is here. She has been my rock, has always been beside me since college days, and I love you very much, honey. Thank you. The other person Christine probably doesn't know this, but my brother Mike is the one who got me here tonight. He was always the better player through high school, honestly. Had more articles in the paper than I did by a factor of 3 or 4, and was kind enough to drag his dorky brother around the golf course throughout the many years, and those times I honor as precious. Thank you, Mike. Golf has taken me to every state in the United States and a few other countries. It's a sport that millions and millions and probably billions of dollars of business have been done on the golf course, and it's a sport that we can play very, very long into our lives. So I'm grateful for the game. I'm grateful for this group, and I'm grateful for the Alumni Association for giving me this honor. Thank you all very much.
And our next inductee in the 2023 Manatee High School Athletic Hall of Honor is Mr. Andy Torgerson, class of 1967. I have personally heard some very good arguments from people in this room that Andy Torgerson was the best all-around athlete ever in Manatee High School history, excelling in football, basketball, baseball, and track. Andy was born into a baseball family as the son of Earl, who played in the major leagues for 14 years. From the time he was a toddler, he had his own baseball uniform and would be dressed out heading to the batting practice with his dad every day in the summer. When he was older, he sat in the dugout during the games with some of the best in the world of Major League Baseball. In football, Andy was a member of the All-County 1965 Dream Team as a punting specialist. He was the 1966 All-County Defensive Team halfback. He was the 5th person to receive the coveted Tommy Paul Award and was selected by the press corps as the outstanding senior in the homecoming win 40-13 over Jefferson High School. He had the longest run, a 56-yard punt return, threw 1 touchdown pass, and kicked 4 out of 5 extra points. It accounted for 104 yards, 7 of 14 passes completed, and his punt and kickoff returns amounted to 103 yards in that game. He held the record for most passing yards in a single game of 335, and most completed passing in a single game for 40 years. As a sophomore, he was named All-Western Conference pick in basketball and was named to the All-Group 12 tournament team in St. Petersburg. Andy was also a baseball switch hitter at Manatee High, but he hit for more power as a lefty. He had a football scholarship to the Florida State University, but decided not to play before the season started, instead opting to go to Fort Myers Edison Junior College, where his Manatee High School baseball coach, Hugh Thimlar, offered him a place to play basketball. Andy later signed with the New York Yankees as a minor league team and was a Class A Fort Lauderdale Yankees member. The manager, Ed Bastian, said Andy's definitely a major league prospect. He has the ability, and it all depends on how he applies these wonderful tools. Andy unfortunately passed away in 2017 at the young age of 68 after suffering for many years with cystic fibrosis. He is still remembered by many Manatee classmates and fellow people here in the community who respected him as a great competitor and one of the best all-around athletes this county had ever seen. Accepting the award on Andy's behalf this evening is his sister, Christine, class of 1964.
Let's see. It sounds just like a couple years ago. I heard Coach Jotes knocking on her old screen door saying, Ms. Torgeson, where's Andy? I don't know, Coach. He's probably out diving with Tom or something. Well, you know, if he doesn't come out for practice, he's not going to start. Andy says it's too hot. So apparently he did go into practice because he started, and the rest is history. He was an incredible athlete. However, I looked at his annual, and he's also a member of the Mozart Club and Future Farmers. I said, Andy, what's the deal here? You weren't that. He said, no, Jim Petty and I decided that when they would call us for photographs, we'd just get up and go be photographed on the front steps. So they got the call, everyone in Future Farmers, please come to the front steps for the yearbook photo. You can look in the yearbook photo, there's my brother and Jim Petty standing up proud. So anyway, yes, with the Tommy, my brother was a quiet guy, with the Tommy Paul Award, I just want you to think about this, because I never knew what position he really played in football. But in that game, he had a 56-yard punt return. He threw a touchdown pass. He had a second one called back. He kicked 4 out of 5 extra points. He accounted for 104 yards completed, 7 of 14 pass attempts, and punt and kick returns. So I don't think he knew what position he was playing either, when you think about it. Lawton Smith likes to tell the story about how Andy came in the back door of Council's on Saturday morning and would sit at the end of the bar while he was prepping for lunch. And they'd talk any sport that was going on. And Lawton, as you know, is a huge Manatee High fan, as Andy was. He said, well, Lawton, what happened last night at the Hurricanes? That's when he said, well, last night a record was beaten for the most passing yards in a single game. It was a record, a 40-year record. And Andy went, mm-hmm. He said, you know who held that record? No, you did. So that was Andy again. And we did grow up in a baseball family, and he loved the sport. And as our host said, it's amazing that my brother achieved all he did with cystic fibrosis. It really was. So Andy loved playing ball. He loved the sports. He loved his teammates. And I love my brother, and I want to tell you, we are so grateful for this wonderful honor. Thank you very much.
And our last inductee for this class of 2023 Manatee High School Athletic Hall of Honor is longtime contributor and principal, Mr. Wesley Chad Choate Sr. So Chad Choate started his career at Manatee High School in 1962, teaching geography and coaching the football team's defensive line. He coached football until he became the assistant principal in 1969, following Wheeler Leith as principal in 1974. In 1981, a Manatee High School alumni from the class of 1963 returned to Manatee and was hired by then Principal Choate as the head football coach of the Hurricanes. This coach, Coach Joe Kinane, will go on to win 5 state championships and put Manatee on the national high school football map. In addition to the football championships that were won during his time as principal at Manatee, boys tennis won a state championship in 1985, boys weightlifting won a state championship in 1990, and many, many other individual state championships in several other sports. An article in the Manatee Magic Book Series states, "You only need to stop by Hawkins Stadium's press box and come any autumn Friday evening night to see how much football really means to Choate. He's the one screaming instructions down to the field like only a coach would." The article states that he never missed a varsity football game in his 28 years as principal at Manatee. Principal Choate retired in 1991, but he could still be found in the stands when the varsity team played and still screaming instructions from the bleachers as he passed away in 2018 at the age of 87. Principal Choate was nominated by his grandson, who is also named Chad Choate. In addition, additional family members are with us tonight. Is his wife Myra, daughter Catherine, husband Jason, granddaughter Courtney, husband Jack, and daughter-in-law Kim. Accepting the award tonight is his wife Myra Choate. And also speaking on his behalf, we have Coach Joe Kinane. Thanks, Coach.
You know, Manatee has stood strong for about 125 years of history, tradition, and excellence. And you should be proud of the many things our students have accomplished in that time. Tonight, we're here to honor some of these individuals associated with Manatee High School. Several years ago, an outstanding Manatee High School player named Tracy Waiters was inducted into the Manatee High School Hall of Honor. He currently holds the record for the longest acceptance speech at the Manatee High School Hall of Honor banquet. Other inductees have come close. I don't think I will fall into that category. As many say, I am a man of few words. I grew up only 7 blocks from Manatee High School. 61 years ago, a man named Wesley Chad Choate and his family moved to Bradenton from Tennessee. He accepted a teaching and coaching position at Manatee High School. My senior year, the class of 1963 was Coach Chad Choate's first year at Manatee High School. Incidentally, my class is having their 60th reunion tomorrow and Saturday night. Calling Chad Choate coach is a term of endearment. Little did I know how he would impact my life. That season, Coach Chad Choate was my position coach in football. I think one has a special relationship with your position coach that you don't have with your head coach. However, I was fortunate to have outstanding men as head coaches my junior and senior year, Wheeler Leaf and Bob Stewart. During the following 18 years while I was playing and coaching football in college, I stayed in touch with Coach Choate. In 1981, I returned to Manatee High School to teach, coach, and be the athletic director. Coach Choate was then the principal at Manatee High School. As I was preparing to coach football my very first spring in 1981, he talked to me about the 6 varsity assistants that had coached the 1980 team but had had a disappointing 4-6 record. He said he thought that they were a talented group of men, but it was my call as to whether to keep them on the varsity as assistant coaches. He was giving me that decision. I was only bringing one assistant with me to coach the offensive line, Danny Hope. I had recruited and coached Danny Hope in college, and after 4 years of coaching at Manatee High School, Danny left and coached at the collegiate level and eventually became the head coach at Purdue University. Well, I kept 5 of the 6 assistants on the varsity because I had Danny that was coming up there with me. And the following year, the one that I didn't bring to the varsity, I had one of the assistants decided to go into track full time. So I ended up with the same coaching staff that they had had the previous 2 years. Carolyn's notebook's messed up here. Okay, during my first 5 years with that group of men, we coached Manatee High School to a 56-6 record and 2 state championships. Coach Choate was correct about these assistants' abilities. They did not need to be micromanaged, but rather needed the freedom to coach their personalities. I believe that as we look back in our lives, there are a variety of people who inspire you and affect you, both bad and both good. You're a result of your experiences and you're a result of your associations. One of my bad experiences was in 1973 when I coached football at Southern Illinois University. That year I learned how to coach possum ball. That's where you play dead at home and get killed on the road. One of the good influences on me was Coach Chad Choate. He was a fine Christian man, very respected by both the students and faculty. How often do you really love your boss or your administrator? I feel blessed to have had the opportunity to not only play for Coach Choate, but also coach the Manatee High School football team for him. His influence on me was one of the main reasons that I went into coaching and education. You could still keep your Christian values and principles and be a successful coach. Back in those early years in the 1980s, as many of our inductees are from that era, a term was coined by the press regarding the school that Coach Choate led. That term was Manatee Magic. What was meant by that term? Well, I've lived in Bradenton the majority of my life. I believe this is a special and magical place. Good people live here. Good people like Coach Choate. Good people are raised here, and that makes it special. Coach Choate made it magical. He had witnessed thousands of children grow up and go forth. I have sorely missed Coach Choate's wise counsel and enthusiastic outlook on life. However, this honor bestowed on him is certainly well deserved, and I'm certain he is looking down on us from above with a big smile on his face. Thank you.
You good? You done? Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Coach, and congratulations to everybody. Bowen, thank you so much for a wonderful job that you do up here. I appreciate not having to talk all the time, so that's a good thing. Okay, so now we are going to announce our 2024 Hall of Honor recipients, and to do that, I'd like to ask our Vice President, Rich Morris, to come up and give us the news.
All right. Before I get started, can we just get one more round of applause for all of the inductees tonight? Thank you all for coming. This has been a fantastic night once again. Like John said, I have the privilege of announcing the Athletic Hall of Honor inductees for Manatee High School for the class of 2024. The following individuals and teams were nominated by their classmates, family, or friends for the Athletic Hall of Honor, and they will be inducted at our banquet next year. Just as a reminder, like John said before, we need your recommendations on who to induct, so please make sure that you go onto the website, fill out a recommendation form so we can induct the people into the classes to come. There are so many of them that are well deserving, and we just need your help on letting us know who we should bring to the next class. So for 2024, Warren Aaron Bell, class of 1975. He will be going in as a student athlete, and he played the sports of basketball, baseball, and football. Kelly Ann Bradley Grant was from the class of 1986. She was also a student athlete, and she played basketball, and I believe she's here tonight.
All right.
Brandon Dravion Carnes from the class of 2003 was a student athlete, and he competed in track and football. And Coach Goop says he was a world champ. Kelly Brooke Christian Odell, class of 1997, will go in as a student athlete for the sport of softball. James H. Jim Lawson, class of 1956, will also be going in as a student athlete, and he competed for the track team. Our final individual being inducted will be Thomas Alphonse Mayette, class of 2002, student athlete. He competed in soccer and baseball. We have two teams that are going to be going in next year. The 1932 National Championship baseball team, as well as the 1992 State Championship football team. Thank you all for your recommendations and nominations. Please make sure you send us some more so we can keep having great events like this. Without further ado, I will bring up Senora Boone for the 50-50 raffle winner.
All right, every time we have one of these events, I try to beat my former amount of money that we raised for our scholarship program. Tonight, you all very generously gave to me, and also Coach Goop ran around and got some additional sales as well, but the grand total was $1,205. Woo! That means the winner will be going home with $603. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to make John draw it because
I got my own tickets.
you got tickets.
Here, give it to Miss Choate. She's probably the only honest one in the room anyway.
There you go. All right, here we go. And the winner is 495516. Yeah! Where's our winner? All right, yay! Here you go. Oh, that wasn't our winner. Okay, here we go. All right.
Check the ticket.
There you go.
Woo!
Oh, you're welcome. All right, here we go. Now I'll turn it back over to our Master of Ceremonies, John.
All right, thanks, Mrs. Boone. We appreciate it. Are we supposed to raffle off the roses too?
Yes, we can do that.
Okay. All right. Hey, I hope you didn't throw away your tickets. We got more.
How many bases do we have?
I can do this one. I don't know.
Go ahead.
So these are for a dozen roses. First ticket's $4.95, $4.57, $4.57, $4.57. There we go. Beautiful roses for the beautiful lady. We keep the flags. We got another beautiful bouquet
several.
We got several. Okay. So we'll do this quick. $4.95, $5.70. $5.70. Going once. Got it. All right.
All right. So Bill's going to help by getting them. Yeah.
All right. $4.95. $4.51. $4.51. Miss McCarthy. Woo! Oh, sorry.
I think I got it.
I think Billy, go get another one. I think we got the last one back there on the table. 495 330. That was an early one. 330. Goog. Pretty flowers for the pretty boy.
Yeah, the cake table.
Okay, the centerpieces on the table are yours to take. So I want everybody at your table to figure out figure out some good way to give away your flowers, and somebody take the flowers with you. You can have them. Just a couple more things before you all get too out of hand here. Wait, court's still in session here. Court's still in session. We need all of the honorees to please come forward after we're done here to have your picture taken. We need a group shot of all the honorees, please, to come forward. Remember, nominations for outstanding alumni are open now, so we need those nominations, and that form is on our website. Okay, that's it. I think I did it all. Any other orders of business? All right, we've totally lost control. Thank you all for your patience. Have a great night, and we appreciate you being here. Bye-bye.